Hello, welcome to the Evergreen Habitat for Humanity Construction Volunteer Orientation. My name is Miranda Martin, and I am the Volunteer Program Manager here at Evergreen Habitat for Humanity, and I'm so happy to welcome you as a volunteer into our organization. My role is to work behind the scenes in our administrative team, supporting our volunteers and all of our staff that work with volunteers. When you are out on site, you will have a site supervisor or two leading you in your day-to-day tasks when you're out on our construction site. But if you ever have questions about our volunteer portal, tracking your hours, or like receiving swag, so if you, for instance, reach 50 hours, you'll reach a volunteer hours milestone and receive a volunteer t-shirt, and you'll get emails about stuff like that that says to reach out to Miranda, and that is me. So any behind the scenes administrative type things, please don't hesitate to reach out to me if you have any questions at all. And then Victor and Ashley will be out on our site to support you and make sure that you've got everything you need for your day on our construction site. So at Evergreen Habitat for Humanity, we bring people together to build homes, community, and hope. And thanks to all of our wonderful volunteers that are here supporting our organization, we are able to work together toward a world where everyone has a decent, affordable place to live. Thank you so much for joining us in this mission. We truly could not do it without you. We had about 600 volunteers in our organization last year, and we have around 30 employees. So truly, truly could not do this without you. Thank you so much for helping us build thriving communities. At Evergreen Habitat for Humanity, we know that to create this world and do this work, we must center equity at all times. We believe as a housing organization, it is our responsibility to learn from the racialized history of housing and systems of oppression and have a moral obligation to right these historical and present day wrongs. To create just opportunities for affordable homeownership, we must continually assess how racism persists in our community on a cultural, institutional, and individual level. To do this, Evergreen Habitat for Humanity commits to the following. Acknowledge that we are building on stolen land, and thus, as we reckon with this truth, we commit to develop meaningful relationships with local tribes and Native communities, understand and dismantle the structural barriers in place to keep communities of color from accessing homeownership, ensure that we, our staff, volunteers, partners, donors, families, and individuals we serve, create an environment where people of every race, ethnicity, nationality, economic status, gender identity and expression, sexual orientation, age, size, and ability are not only represented and welcome, but celebrated and empowered. And examine our own policies, procedures, and delivery models through an equity lens to ensure that we are breaking down barriers rather than creating them or further exacerbating existing barriers. So I know that was a lot to read through, but it is really important to the work we do, and I appreciate you going on this journey with us by our sides and engaging in this work. If you have any questions about any pieces in this equity statement, please don't hesitate to reach out. I'm happy to answer any questions you may have. All right, 1 second. So our first program to talk about are homeowners buying affordable homes through Habitat for Humanity. So we sell a mix of new and existing homes to income qualified buyers that meet our credit requirements and make between 35 and 80% of the area median income, which the area median income actually adjusts year to year, but folks can go onto our website underneath our homeownership tab and be able to see if they qualify within those requirements at any given moment. Our homeowner services team also has orientations that are in person 2-hour orientations, all about homeownership with Habitat for Humanity. It's a great way to learn more about our homeownership program and see if it's the right fit for you. So I, again, highly recommend going to our website, taking a look at those requirements, and then you can also sign up for an orientation that way. And please spread the word if you know anybody that might be interested in buying a home from Habitat for Humanity. So one way we're able to help meet folks where they're at and help make this truly affordable is with a sliding scale down payment assistance. So that is going to like I said, be a sliding scale dependent on the financial needs of the applicants. And then the mortgages do not exceed 35% of the monthly income of the homeowners when they are buying the home from Habitat for Humanity. And then one of the ways that we're able to really support folks in this homeownership journey and why we focus on homeownership is the long-term stability that's provided. So, folks can pass that home down to their children and grandchildren if they would like. They can they're able to build equity and appreciation in this home over the course of their 30-year mortgage, and also be able to pay that home off one day and not have to worry about a house payment anymore. But then if they do choose to sell the home and move out, that home is on a land trust, so it will be permanently affordable even for the next homeowners that purchase that home. So our next program is home repair. So we are able to help folks in our community that have faced a critical repair issue that without being addressed would prevent them from safely remaining in the home. This is going to be things like water damage, electrical issues, and that also includes accessibility aids. So sometimes we aren't necessarily doing a repair, but we are installing something to help make sure that a homeowner can safely live in that home. And so this is not specific Habitat homeowners. Anybody in the community with a critical repair need is welcome to apply for this. And an example of just a really wonderful way that our community of supporters was able to help someone in the Clark County community last year was by installing a ramp for a member of our community who had gone around 2 years without actually leaving his home. But thanks to everybody that supports our mission, we were able to install a metal ramp on this home, and now he can not only get out and live his life, he can also now safely exit his home even if there is an emergency situation. All right, so looking back a little bit before we look forward, looking back even further, not listed in this slide is that in our first 30 years as an organization, we were able to sell a total of 51 homes, which meant we were building 1 to 2 homes a year, which was incredible. A lot of great support for the community. But then looking forward, we also were able to really increase that impact in 2024. We were able to sell 14 homes in total. 9 homes were from this development here called Johnson Village, and 5 of them were homes from a rehab project where we purchased existing homes, rehab them, and then sell those as well. And we also were able to repair 9 homes in our community last year. So this rehab project I just touched on, that was in partnership with Vancouver Housing Authority. We purchased a total of 42 homes from Vancouver Housing Authority. They are scattered throughout the county. And as I just mentioned, we finished up 5 of them last year, but we are actually, so I'm recording this in November of 2025, and we actually have finished almost all of those 42 homes. We only have about 5 to go, and they will be sold by the end of this year. So we're in a really exciting period of growth in our organization, and we're really, really thankful for you being by our sides and continuing to see where we go from here. So speaking of where we're going from here, one thing that we are working on at the moment is a build in Washougal, our first ever home in Washougal that we are building. So this is in progress. Like I mentioned, it is currently November of 2025. So depending on when you watch this orientation video, you might be helping on that Washougal build. And then later, starting in early 2026, we will be starting 32 homes in the North Image neighborhood of Vancouver. This is our largest project to date, and we are so excited and ready to begin welcoming volunteers out on this site. So our current projects also include some developer-built homes. We are excited to be able to increase our impact thanks to some really amazing partnerships with developers in our community. So these are not actually homes we built with volunteers. They were built by the developers and sold to us to then be able to sell with affordable mortgages. And so it's exciting to be able to increase our impact and support our community further. And so we have some 1 and 2 bedroom homes. So this is something that is really exciting. We're able to help support senior citizens as they age in place and don't have to worry about moving somewhere that is one story because it's already one story. And then we also are able to uh, support, you know, like young couples or single individuals, um, a single person with one child, like those smaller um, units that are able to maybe buy their starter home in a climate where buying a starter home seems very unachievable for a lot of people right now. But thanks to these homes, we're able to fit that demographic. And then we also have 3-bed, 2.5-bath homes available for sale that were built by developers. So these are both on our website, and I highly encourage everybody to go take a look at those. But even in the future, if you're watching this later, um, our website is always a great place to be able to go see what homes we do have available for sale at any given moment. So we also have a couple of thrift stores that I encourage you to visit if you've not already. Our Clark County Habitat stores. We have one in central Vancouver and one a little further west into Vancouver. These stores are one of our largest sources of funding for our homeownership programs. We just opened the West store in September of 2025, and our central store is still here and still going strong. And actually, last year, our central store was able to raise 21% of our overall revenue to support our homeownership programs. So we could not be making the impact that we're making without the stores. And so we really appreciate everybody that donates items to the stores, shops in the stores, volunteers, and just tells your community about them and encourages other people to come shop. Our stores are also part of the Clark County Green Business listed businesses that is because of their incredible efforts with waste reduction. So they were able to divert 850 tons of material from the landfill in 2024. One thing that they do is they have a team of volunteers that recycles metal so that we can raise money from items that aren't sellable. And then we also accept paint donations. So people can bring paint to us, and then we will sell it if it's good to use. And if it's not usable, it will be sent off to be recycled. And that also helps raise some money. And then also, if anybody has eyeglasses that are broken or usable, but just laying around and unneeded, we can accept those. And then the Lions Club comes and picks those up. And then batteries and cell phones are we have a box for folks to bring those to us so that those can go to the county to be recycled as well. We also have 2 donation pickup trucks that go out Tuesday to Saturday. Folks can book these online, and they can also see any of our guidelines regarding what we do and do not accept in our thrift stores. All right. Last little thing about the store: if you are interested in volunteering in one of our stores, you can volunteer any day of the week. We do ask that thrift store volunteers go through a different orientation specific to volunteering in the store. And then after that, you can volunteer any day of the week. Just know that you can't shop in either of our stores on a Monday. Volunteers there help organize, price, help with customer service, move furniture, and some DIY projects. The age minimum is a little lower there as well. It is 16 on the construction site, but only 14 in the stores. We also have some committees, so if you're interested in helping behind the scenes with fundraising and event planning, our committees are a great way to help with that. If you're interested in learning more about any of those committees, you can see more on our volunteer portal, and you can also email me, and I'm happy to share more. All right, construction, what you are here for today. We have opportunities for new volunteers on our construction site on Fridays and Saturdays. Volunteers help with almost all aspects of building a home. You do not have to have any skills whatsoever, just a willingness to learn and to maybe get a little bit muddy, maybe it rained on a little bit or out in the sun, depending on where we're at in the process of any particular build. And then folks do also have to be 16 or older to volunteer on site. So a typical day on the construction site looks like showing up to site at 8:30 and then leaving at 3:30. We do ask that you commit to the entire day on site when you sign up, and to please be mindful of our staff as they are getting ready for the day and preparing for you. So please try not to come out to site too early so that they are able to have everything set up and ready. So then when you get to site, make sure you log your hours. There is an email that goes out at the beginning of the day, but you can also just use pencil and paper when you come out to site as well. And then your supervisor or supervisors will go over any important safety information and teach you how to use all the equipment you need to know how to use for the day. There will be a 30-minute lunch break around noon. Please bring a lunch. It can be a little challenging to leave and get lunch and come back in time. And then site cleanup will begin around 2:30 so that you can leave promptly at 3. So when you are out on site, please wear clothes that you do not mind getting dirty. Long pants are not required, but they are recommended. We have all of the provided safety equipment you might need. You are welcome to bring your own if you have them. But we have everything provided if you don't have them, but you're welcome to bring them if you'd like. Just maybe I recommend labeling it so we know whose is whose. Please do not wear open-toed shoes. Do not place tools or power cables in walkways. And then please also do not leave tools on top of ladders. And then with ladders, we want to make sure that they are always secure and they have another person holding the base. And if you're not sure how to do any tasks or how to use any tools, please always feel free to ask. Our staff is happy to teach you. This is our current project, our Washougal home build. So when you get to that site, you will be parking at a church parking lot. You can see that here. This is St. Matthew Lutheran Church. They have kindly agreed to let volunteers use their parking lot as this neighborhood we're building in does not have street parking. So we ask that you're not parking in front of neighbors' homes and instead you park here and just walk a couple of blocks up to our construction site. The address for all of our projects will always be in the opportunity description, and there will also be information on how to get to site and where to park. So make sure you're reading all of the information when you sign up for our opportunities. Our upcoming project is the 132nd Ave Cottage Homes project. This is going to be 32 cottage-style homes in the North Image neighborhood. So similarly, parking is a little different here. We don't have a parking lot, and then when there is a parking lot, it will be used to stage materials. So we ask that folks are parking along the streets here. And then there could be an address to come, but for now, a neighbor has kindly agreed to let us use their address as a pinpoint for folks. So when you come out to site, you'll be directed in, I think, towards this house, and then just park along the street anywhere near our construction site. So just a couple of expectations. I know you signed the code of conduct in order to sign up for a construction site day, but just a reminder to promote a respectful community, prioritize site safety, uphold a zero tolerance policy for alcohol, drugs, and weapons, model behavior that respects the human rights of all people, uphold a zero tolerance policy for harassment and discrimination, and safeguard Habitat for Humanity assets and maintain confidentiality. So thank you for following that code of conduct. When you are scheduled to volunteer, our construction staff is planning accordingly, so please cancel as soon as you know you cannot make it for a shift, ideally with 24 hours notice so that other folks have a chance to sign up for that shift if it opens up. Since we are limited to how many volunteers we can have on site at any given moment, that means that there could be a spot filled that somebody else then could fill up, but we want to be able to have as many volunteers out there at any given moment so we can get those homes built in a timely manner. What we really do ask, though, because we understand you sometimes will get sick and things happen out of your control, but please at least let us know that you cannot make it so that you're not just not showing up for your shift. It's very inconvenient and we want to respect everybody's time. So after this, I will be, you will, in the show notes or the video description of this video, you will see a link towards, to take you to a video, an orientation quiz. And once you fill that out, I will see that you'll add your name and tell me that you have filled it out. And when I see that come through, then I will send you an email that contains our background check. And then once that is approved, you will be able to sign up for construction shifts. And so with that, we are not able to work with everyone. If you have any active charges or convictions that have happened in the past 7 years that are person-to-person crimes, so that would be theft, violence, as well as harassment, assault, domestic disputes. And if you are on a sex offender registry. Unfortunately, we will not be able to work with you as a volunteer, but we really appreciate your support, and hope that you're able to find another organization that fits your needs as a volunteer. But that only takes a couple of days to come through, and then once approved, I will let you know, and you'll be able to sign up for shifts through the volunteer portal, just the same way that you signed up for orientation. So I'm always here to support you from the back, behind the scenes ways of getting involved in an organization. If you've got questions about what to expect on the construction site, how to sign up for shifts, or how to unregister for shifts, or you just have feedback for us, please share that with me. We really want you to feel valued, and we want you to enjoy your volunteer experience. And so I welcome you to email or call me with any questions, concerns, um, advice you might have. So thank you so much for watching this video, and we can't wait to get you started as a volunteer. Have a great day.